Hello everybody, and welcome to my tutorial series on making Pokemon from mostly scratch. I say mostly because we're using a Unity game engine. I am not making this from complete scratch, but this is not a ROM hack, and this is not using something like RPG Maker. You'll learn a lot of useful skills into making any type of game, but I think if you're following this, you're actually interested in making a mainline Pokemon game, which is what we're going to focus on. So this is the first real episode. There is a video that you can watch before this that goes about setting up your own copy of Unity. But if you're here already, you probably already have that, and if not, go into the description and find the video from before, and we go over setting up Unity very lightly. But it's mostly, downloading and installing. And this is sort of where we're going to end up at the end of this video. We're going to have our own little tile map that we can paint our own small little area. You don't have to use the same tile map as I use, but it will make things easier for following along, and then you can always change it at any point. In the description, I'll have both this character and the tile map itself. Um, links to both of those on Open Game Art there. You're able to use them however you want. I didn't create them, I'm just using them. And you can too. You can also use your own Pokemon stuff. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want. So this is what we're going to try and achieve in this video. Tile maps. So let's go into our new project. So if you open up your project, and as a reminder, I'm using 2020.2 as the main version. So if you have that or newer, you should be fine. And set it up as a 2D project, which is why I have no lighting source or anything. It's just a main camera and a sample scene. So first going to create myself, first going to create myself a folder, art. And I'm going to toss in there these two pieces of art. These two are both freely available in the description below. They're just art assets I found on Open Game Art, and you're free to use them. So they should have already filled some of the stuff out correctly, but there's other stuff we have to do to make it still maintain its pixely look and correctly work in a tile map. So first things first, we're setting this to multiple because it's a sprite sheet. We know these are 16 by 16, so we're going to set pixels per unit to 16 so that 16 pixels is considered one chunk of on the grid, so it fits nicely. Mesh type will be full rect. This is one of the steps we have to take to do kind of the pixel perfect look. Wrapping mode should be clamp, which is what it's already set to. We want the filter type to point, and we want to put it to normal compression. Then we want to click on the sprite editor, go to slice, and set the grid by size 16 by 16. And there we go. We've split up the grid. Apply. And we'll do that again for this little guy, though he's not too important for this video, but might as well. He's right here. Yep. Point. None. Sprite editor. Yeah, apply. And he's 16 by 16 as well. There. Just like that, we've set up our art. But we still have a little bit more to do, so go to the right-click in the hierarchy, go to 2D object, tile map, rectangular. This will be our tile map grid. We can leave this called the tile map for now. You'll see this will have popped up in the corner. Open tile palette, click that. Now we have our tile palette. Go create new palette. Name it whatever you want. I'll just call this, I'm going to call it like Start Town, or Starting Town. All the other settings are fine. Create. I'm going to put this in a folder called palettes. Then take your tile map sprite sheet art asset and just drag that over into here. I'm going to make another folder. This time it's called tiles. And put it in there. Now, each sprite asset that the sprite sheet contains is now being turned into a tile asset. So you can actually go and see them in here. So now there's one for each one, named beautifully Tilemap 60, my favorite. But yeah, they're all there, and there's some stuff we can do with them later, but right now that doesn't matter. So click back on your tile map in the hierarchy, and click on the brush, and you can now draw. Woo! You can also use the rectangular tool. You have your paint dropper thing. You got racing. You got fill, which will fill gaps, and then it will also extend out. There you go. So we got a big patch of grass already. You can also select multiple stuff at once and stamp it in. This also kind of works for if you're using the rectangular tool. As long, go within limit, out of the limit, it will repeat, but there you go. Now you can see that it's erasing over that. So there's two venues you can go. First, clean that up. So one is, right now you see there's a Z position. If it's grayed out, it's because that checkbox is there. So everything's right now on Z position 0. So if you move something into Z position 1, you can then stamp the tree on top. So now they're in their own new Z position. And then if you want to do it again, you can, and start layering stuff on top of each other. And that's perfectly fine. That's one way you can organize it. If someone knows how to, you can easily identify where stuff is, that'd be useful. But the problem is now, like, if I go back to Z position 0, and I'm trying to erase these trees, I now have to figure out which Z position for each one, which can get annoying. And put this back to 0 and fill. So that's one way you can do it. Another way is making, let's lock Z position. Z, Z, whichever one. Make another tile map. Let's call the bottom one ground. And this one houses. Houses and trees. Okay, so let's make sure that this was actually the correct one. Okay, good. So there's your ground. You can make your little path. Stamp the edge there and there. Nothing too exciting. Now switch over to houses and trees. You have some trees there. And, I mean, it's not just trees, it's houses and trees. Put that there. And a nice little... Oh, wait. And a nice little patch of grass. There you go. Let's actually make those blend together a bit better. There. Why not? It's not the most exciting thing, but you can fiddle with it that way. And now, because you've done it this way, you can also, in the editor, hide different layers. So if I don't want to see the trees and houses, and I just want to work on painting, I can do it this way. So either way is fine. I prefer organizing it this way, but I can see certain parts where it just becomes a bit annoying to have to make like a new layer when you just wanted to like maybe put some fluff over top. But it's up to you. You can organize stuff however you want. I'm just here to see, and here's another problem. I was on houses and trees. So there's no perfect solution. You just got to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, switch over to ground. There we go. Gotta make that path out of town. See doodle. And erase that. Oops, not erase. I want to put grass there. And let's see, which one's the one? No. It's going to be this one, I think. There. And go back to houses and trees and just stamp away. I guess you can also go like this. And it's just that easy. Let's go like here. Huzzah. Okay, so there. We've made our own little town. Well, let's add another house. Sure, why not? There. So now we've made our own little map. You can make it however you want. Let's save. Make sure to always save as often as you can. Now, one of the issues that sometimes creeps up is even though all those settings we set, you can still see lines going. Stuff looks a little off. However, Unity has made a nice little pixel perfect camera. So if you right click and select that, you can now delete your old camera. It's pointing somewhere strange, so let's just zero this. So take the X and Y and set that to 0. You can open up the scene too to see where stuff is. If you double click on it, you'll focus and see, oh, it's there, but it's really close. So go into the Z and just pull it back a bit. Now, the reason why this matters is because right now it's on perspective, but what we want to do actually is switch it off of perspective to orthographic. Now the Z doesn't really matter as much. It just needs to be not positioned behind the tile map. So it can be pretty much just Z. Is everything on 0? Yeah. So it just has to be out of that. So I'm just going to put it there so it's positioned. So instead of the camera now being position based, what we want to do is increase the size here. You're just saying how big you want it to, how big you want the viewport to be. And all the other settings are fine. The pixel perfect camera, you can put the 16 in there, and you can let's see, we got pixel snapping, that's fine. Run in edit mode to see what we got going on here. So you can fiddle around with what you want the reference to be. But you'll see stuff is still kind of, see if I open up the game, still jagged. Now why is that? We'll have it right now on free aspect, and what you need to do is you need to switch it to one of the resolutions that make a bit more sense. So it needs to be even. If you go into, let's go back to free aspect. You'll see here it says rendering an odd numbered resolution. Pixel perfect camera won't work essentially. So that's usually the final thing. If you've done everything up until now and it's still showing lines, it's probably just because it's on free aspect or you don't having it run in edit mode. So I just go, good old full HD, 1080p is what you need. But you can set it to whatever as long as it's, I believe, even. But it'll complain if you have it wrong. And that's basically it. Now, I guess I showed at the beginning we had our little character. So let's just get a sprite. Switch him. Where's my guy? Switch him. Where is he hiding? Oh, let's that. Sure. Let's zero you and move you. We haven't handled any of the depth sorting yet, so Actually, we can do a little. Let's see if that worked. That'll sort of work. Yeah, he'll go under it, but he won't go in front of it now, so there's still work to be done there. But anyway, doesn't matter. We got him. We can quickly make like a new folder. I said, let's make a new folder. Scripts. Make a new script, and we'll just call it player mover for now. This is just a quick and dirty script. This will not be how we actually move the character, but this will do for now. New window, please. First things first, I'm going to need a speed variable. So float speed. I don't need start really, so remove that speed, and we'll just set to 5 or something. That's fine. In the update loop, input, then get axis raw, and we're looking for horizontal value. So this will give us the either arrow keys left and right, or A and D, or it should also work if you're using a controller, but it basically just means like it'll be either a 1 or a -1 depending on the direction. And then we want the same thing, but we want it for the vertical axis. Here we go. Okay, so now we have like which direction the player is pushing. We have if it's plus 1 here, then it's going to like the right, and if it's so on for up and down. So now we want to get the transform, and we want the position, and we're going to just take that, and we're going to take the transform and position, and then we're going to add to it, get a new with the horizontal value times the speed times time dot delta time, and then we want to do the same thing for the y-axis. Okay. So we have it where, depending on what position along the x the player is being told to move, we want that to go at a certain speed. We have it arbitrarily at 5, and then we want it to be over time. So this value will be how much time has happened since the last frame. So this makes it where the speed is actually 5 units over a second is the speed that it'll maintain. So it doesn't matter how laggy the game gets, the speed stays the same. If frames take longer, that means the just jump will be bigger. And same thing for the Y. And that's pretty much it for just your basic movement. So get back to the project, let Unity do its garbage, and click on your, just call it player, and drag your player mover script onto it. There you go. And hit play. And there you go. And he's moving around. Now, a nice little cheat, if you want to have the camera follow him, is parent or child the camera to the player. And let's just 0 it so it's in the center. There you go. Now, this isn't the perfect way to do it, but this is the quick way to do it, and that's what we want for the first like couple episodes, and then we can start improving it. So there you go. You got your own tile map set up. You got a character to look at it. They don't interact the way they should, but you can at least view your creation. So have at her. Get some more advanced tile maps if you want. Make some cool level layouts, and we'll move on to making the movement better in the next one as well as colliding. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.